Hi, my name is Wilman Ziada, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with an acclaimed musician, an artist. His name is Chris of RECWALL. For more on RECWALL, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the incredible talent of Chris of RECWALL.
Always something in the distance. There's always something down the line. Just when you've settled in, a new direction becomes a part of the design. But I will always be with you. I will always be near, right in the waves upon your ocean. I'll be the whisper in your ear. Don't worry about the complication. You'll always know what's right. Those sudden clouds on the horizon might even shed a little light. And I will always be with you. Yeah, I will always be near, right in the waves upon your ocean. I'll be the whisper in your ear.
Well, hello, Chris. How are you?
Hey, good to be here. Good to meet you.
So nice to meet you, Chris. And I'm so excited that the audience has got a little sneak peek of your talent as part of RECWALL. And I want to get into all of it, Chris, because you are such a diverse artist with interest in multiple genres. But I want to first deep dive into where you grew up and when did you realize that you had a love of music?
Well, it's a complex story where I grew up, so I'll try to make it really quick. I was born in the Midwest, but I wound up in Canada very quickly. My parents were sort of professors, academics, and moved to Canada. So I spent 11 years in Montreal, and then I came back to the States in time for high school. So I went to high school in Manhattan. That's, you know, those high school years in Manhattan is when I really started to find the music thing.
Where in Manhattan did you go to school?
I went to, it doesn't exist anymore, but it was called the McBurney School. It was a private school on the Upper West Side between Central Park West and Broadway on 63rd Street, where the YMCA is there.
I literally live around the block. I'm on 57th and 9th.
Yeah, there's Ethical Culture School, which was there then and is still there now. But my school it's now, I think, condos, but it was it was attached to the YMCA, and it has a long list of famous alumni, including Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys, and Ted Koppel, and J.D. Salinger, and Henry Winkler, and Richard Thomas. A lot of Hollywood people, a lot of actors, a lot of musicians. So
that's incredible, Chris. Well, listen, I want to go into the formation of RECWALL and how that all came about.
Well, I took a big break from music. I was in two bands in the 90s that sort of had limited regional success, grunge sort of bands. One was called Zen Bender, and the other one was called As It Is, with a Z, and on the end, As It Is with the IZ. And those were short-lived, but you know, we did a lot of playing in the New York scene, and I did a lot of writing at the time. And when success didn't sort of go with me at the time, I took a big break from it. I wound up sort of getting in line with what life sort of forces upon you in terms of a career and you know, surviving and having a family and things like that. So I took a big break from music. I literally didn't play in a band or write anything for 10 years. And in 2016, I sort of came out of that and just was like a floodgate opening again. A lot of this stuff that I never got to record in the 90s, I did, you know, now the tools are there to do it in a way you couldn't when I was in my 20s. And it's just been nonstop ever since. I mean, writing a song a week at a minimum, you know, it's just been nonstop. So RECWALL is really a solo thing that just before COVID, I started to try to turn into an actual live performance thing, but the COVID put a big damper on that. So now I'm back trying to you know, put a band together, and I have some folks that are getting ready to play this stuff out. Of course, you know, winter time coming and COVID variants and all that thing, it could be delayed even longer, but hopefully by next summer we'll be out playing these songs out in the New York area. So
that's amazing, Chris. And I'm curious to know, I mean, obviously all humans, but especially artists, that need for that third band member, which is the audience, that communication, that connection. What do you miss most about performing live?
I mean, you just said it yourself. I mean, I could tell you, particularly with this sort of profound scenario we're in globally, having written all this music, a lot of it during the thrust of all of that, COVID, it was absolutely lonely. And, you know, it's another reason I'm trying to get with other musicians now in almost any way that I can, both with the DBLX stuff that I do and the RECWALL stuff, trying to get out there with musicians and play. But I mean, there's nothing like playing live. There's nothing like having that rapport with an audience. There's nothing like seeing people respond to what you're doing and getting into it. And, you know, for me, it's been longer than I even want to say. It's been many years since I've had the chance to really take that in and be part of that. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned DBLX. We talked a little bit about it offline. It's another hat that you wear. Go into a little bit about DBLX and how that kind of pertains to, you know, your musicality and you as an artist.
Well, you know, there's not a lot of amazing things happening for rock right now. I mean, if you weren't already successful in the 90s, and just about every 90s band is touring again and making a go of it again. If you didn't have success, then it's very hard to do something with rock these days. It's just not happening like it used to. I mean, I'm sure there are those who beg to differ who are out there doing it now. I've been sitting on the sidelines and sort of taking in what's happening out there. And while most of what I do is sort of still hanging on to the 90s, I needed to get out of that sort of comfort zone of what I'm used to, you know, and try something a little bit different, you know, and I started, you know, listening to a lot of what my kids listen to. You know, I'm sort of aging myself here, but my daughter is all hip hop all the time. And so when I'm in the car with her, that's what we listen to. And it really, some of what's happening with, particularly rhythmically with the beats, just sort of really got into my head. And I wanted to try to incorporate some of that with some rock sensibility. So that's what DBLX turned out to be. So I've put out 2 full albums now of what I'm calling, you know, sort of alternative EDM, only because there's rock guitars in there too, which is, you know, I've had some DJs tell me that that's sort of bizarre, but it's a unique sound, and I'm hoping people will like it.
I love it. And it's also singular. It's authentic to you. And it's, you know, I think a lot of people like to have opinions on things that are probably uncomfortable for them. But the fact that you've gone onto that realm, and it's also something that I know when I've spoken with a lot of artists, they've also taken this time in particular, these past 18 months, to try things that they always wanted to, but maybe we're a little scared of. But I mean, God willing and God bless, I mean, a time when we're seeing, you know, so many of our friends get sick, and it's been a time of really looking within. And I'm sure for you as an artist, it's been similar.
Yeah, no, it has. And, you know, it's been a time to reflect on a lot of things. Certainly, as you're saying, how much we all miss going to, a rock and roll show or any kind of show, and certainly just being with others. But it's definitely been a time to try new and different things, and I definitely took advantage of that.
Well, Chris, listen, I want to let our audience know for more on the amazing Chris in RECWALL. You can read more about him right below this video. Chris, I could speak with you forever, my friend, but I'm so grateful for the time that you took to speak with me today. Thank you.
You're quite welcome, and thank you.